are back, and if you're joining us now, we are just getting our third conversation started, and we are going to be speaking to a Belizean abroad. And as a matter of fact, we have with us Major Eric Neal, who is a graduate of the Royal Military College of Canada. Good morning, Major Neal.
Good morning, Mr. Governor and Miss Marlene.
Yes. How are you doing? How's the weather up there in Toronto? Is it cold?
It's actually hot.
Ah? Wow.
Okay. It's hot.
Well, good. Well,
so
it's summer. It is summer.
In Belize.
Yeah, I was about to say, probably your version of hot and our version of hot are two different things right now. But first of all, congratulations on your success. We, of course, all of us back here are very proud of you, and we're always happy to share the story of a Belizean who has accomplished something like this. So that's the first message that I want to give you is a congrats.
Thank you very much. I'm honored.
Yes. So perhaps you can start us off by telling us a bit about your journey and how it is that you came to attend the Royal Military College and what your journey has been like from Belize to Canada.
Well, I'm a service member of the Belize Defense Force. I enlisted on the 13th of February 2004, and since then I've matriculated to the rank of major. I have held numerous posts within the military, more specifically, or more prominent, if that is a proper term, Force Junior Finance Officer, Force Quartermaster, Force Finance and Logistics Officer, Officer Commanding Training Company, the aide-de-camp to the Governor General, which I've held that post for 12 and a half years before leaving, and lastly, the Inspector General in the Ministry of National Security Defense.
So what prompted you to want to pursue your studies at the school?
I came here initially on the Joint Command and Staff Program, JCSP 46, which is a senior level military course to prepare officers for command. And it's also within the BDF a requirement for consideration for promotion beyond the rank of major. However, when I got here, I was informed that any candidate who possessed an undergrad, a 4-year undergrad, could apply for the Masters in Defense Studies program. And so I followed the procedures, and my application was accepted, and I pursued the course of study, which was done concurrently with the professional military education, which is encompassed within the entire GCSP program.
Wow, that's such a great story of just, jumping on an opportunity there.
Yes,
and what was the experience like? I mean, tell me about, some of the things you've learned and just how it's been like for you on a personal level.
I would say personally, I dreaded coming here because I am asthmatic. I am also diabetic. So I was thinking about those conditions and staying in a country that is extremely cold. However, when I got here, I quickly understood that it is a part of my military career, and I had to embrace the challenge. And so I openly embraced the challenge. I got to meet a cross-section of people. We had a number of students from all over the world and also from Canada. So the entire cohort was 118 students, the rank of major to full colonel, actually. We had one student who was a full colonel. And so we had a great diversity, and it was very cordial, I should say. We interacted well. We had our differences, but we knew how to resolve those diplomatically.
Right. And then can you also tell us a little bit about the program itself that you were in and the things that you learned? So yeah, describe a little bit about describe your program a little bit for us.
The professional military aspect is geared to work preparing senior officers for command or to operate within a higher level headquarters, whether it be at multinational or joint. And so we pursued studies in leadership, in command. We did touch a bit on international relations. We then went into the hands-on operation planning process, where we were in a 2-week exercise looking at some notional scenario, but trying to resolve a humanitarian crisis through a multinational operation and really managing over 50,000 soldiers. So that was more or less the level of the training. The academic side, I chose to major in institutional policy, and I had reasons. And I must admit that I was also advised by the CEO in the Ministry of National Security and Defense, Lieutenant Colonel retired Enriquez, and also a good friend of mine, Miss Nicole Haylock, who is the Deputy Coordinator of the National Security Council. And I pursued the field of institutional policy because I understood, as the Inspector General, at the time I conducted numerous inspections, investigations, and audit, and I saw that what was lacking in the force was procedures.
Yeah.
We know what to do, but we just need to tighten on some of the things that we are doing. And so I thought it best for me to contribute positively to the force, because remember, I'm a servant. I didn't come here on my own accord. I came here as a servant of the government and people of Belize, and then I said to myself, it is best that I maximize the investment the government is making in me, because I need to return and contribute to Belize's continued development. And that is why I looked at institutional policy as the major. And the minor, I looked at the economics of national security and defense. We're looking particularly at how we do business, not only the Belize Defense Force, but also the police and the Coast Guard, and how we can establish somewhat of a local defense industry through a public-private sector partnership, where we can probably create greater industry for the manufacturing of all our uniforms, allow certain businesses to have the permits to import certain accoutrement that we require for the military, therefore allowing the money to spread within the nation, instead of having us importing from certain persons and then the money goes outside the country, rather than allowing local businesses to really and truly benefit from it. And it can also be a mechanism to create greater employment. So it will cut waste to an extent and also allow the economy to kind of flow.
I think what you're saying and what I hear from you is just what is one of the best benefits that we get when people get exposed, when they go out and study. It's just a generation of ideas that comes out immediately after. And I'm sure you look back at home and see how so many of the issues that we're probably facing, there are some solutions that can be made. And with that in mind, I wanna ask, I'm sure you've been paying attention to the news, the BDF has been under intense scrutiny since the start of this year. And it's been from the accident that took place with the helicopter crash, and also looking at the sexual misconduct allegations. From being outside of the system and being where you are educating yourself, wanting to contribute when you come back, what are your thoughts on being able to improve the image at this point in time?
While I am limited in my ability to actually comment on those ongoing issues, because the authority to answer those questions actually rests with the force headquarters, the chief of staff, deputy commander, and Belize Defense Force, and also the ministry. I must pivot to say that I had an emotional breakdown, particularly when I heard of the recent incident of rape.
Yeah.
And why I say that particularly, because I was also doing a case study on harmful and inappropriate sexual behavior in the Canadian Armed Forces, and what was their experience and how they addressed the situation, and what were some of the pros and the cons of the entire process. And I must add that BDF is very small. We know each other. And for me personally, the victim and I have a relationship, friendship, I should say, going well beyond 20 years. So I know the individual, and it hurt me to my core. And it made me upset. However, as a member of the force and as a loyal servant of my government and people, I must have some measure of trust in the process. And mirroring what was the Canadian experience, it was not necessarily action from within that prompted change, but action from the community. Because at the end of the day, the military is a reflection of the community.
That's right.
We serve the community, we don't serve ourselves. And the image is therefore a reflection of the desires and the demands of the community. And it is only prudent that experts from outside the community, or outside the military, provide some measure of support and guidance as to how we can truly address the incidents. It is, they are unfortunate, it is a sad reality, but we have to move beyond it.
I appreciate those words, and I think a lot of people who have been listening with concern will be grateful that you shared your perspective, and I completely understand that there are limitations in how much you would comment. But looking back at when you have such a long career, and then you go and you go to military college, and now well, you're technically stuck in Canada until you can be repatriated. But what are you hoping to do when you come back home?
I must be frank. I cannot mix my personal ambitions with my duty. I am a member of the Belize Defense Force, and no matter how educated I am, no matter how ambitious I am, I must ascribe to the rules and regulations. So with my skills, with my knowledge, I am at the mercy, or for lack of a better term, or at the disposal of the Commander of Belize Defense Force and the Ministry of National Security. They will decide what I should do. What I can do is different, but what I should do. And as a disciplined soldier, I will do what my superiors expect of me until when I can no longer stomach it, then I will have to ask for a resignation, or I'll put in my resignation. But right now, I'm focused on helping the organization through troubled times, because in my humble view, the road ahead will be tough, but there's a shining light just waiting for us. We just need to put all hands on deck, stand shoulder to shoulder, and we shall work to overcome these challenges.
And on a personal note, is there anything that you're looking forward to when you do come back home? I'm sure you're missing your family and friends.
Or rice and beans.
Yeah, that too.
I am missing my family. If I were to count the years I've been out of the country or away from my family, within or 14 years of being together, I have been away from my wife and my daughter for more than half of that time. And my wife particularly has been my rock, my foundation, my strength, my stress at times, but with her guidance, with her counsel, I remain focused and I remain committed to the men and women of the Belize Defense Force. And some may interpret my words as an attack on leadership. I'm not doing that. I am loyal to the seat of the commander. I am loyal to the government and people of Belize, and I have no ill will. I am determined to serve my country and people until the day I believe my actions would be detrimental to the nation. And when I find that my actions are, then I will do the humble thing and I will resign.
Well, you speak so much. You speak like a man of service, and I think that is it's so encouraging to hear, knowing your role within the BDF as well. You know, Major, is there a part of your experience that has been personally transformative for you? Not just looking at the education you've attained and your professional role, but how has this experience made Eric Neal, just Eric Neal, different?
I will say that everything after my commission in November of 2004 is A+. My commissioning course in Guyana was the most difficult year of my life.
Oh, wow.
And I must add, at that point in time, there was very little hope in me completing the course. Because Guyana is known to be the most rigorous infantry training one can attend as a part of the commissioning process. And when I was sent in March of 2004, majority of those that I served with felt that I would not last more than a month. And to be honest, within a month's time, my left knee blew out. And a month after that, my right knee blew out. And by the 5th month, I was in a hospital with being bed down because I lost feeling from my waist down. I had a slight injury, slight accident actually. And in November of 2004, I was still bedridden and I was given the ultimatum. You either bear the pain and go and do your final exercise, or you return to Belize as a cadet. And I asked for time to think. I prayed to God, and I gave the answer. I will leave Guyana under 2 conditions. 1, a commissioned officer. The other, a dead man. I will not leave here without being commissioned. Yeah. And I, as we would say in Guyana, I band my belly and I bear my chief. Now here, so everything after November 20, 2004, in my humble view, is A+. And I'm grateful to great mentors in the Belize Defense Force, the retired Brigadier General Lord Gillett and Lieutenant Colonel Louis Sutherland, yes, Sutherland. They are persons who have inspired me throughout my career to remain resolute, to remain firm, and to never sacrifice my integrity, and to always lead through service. At the end of the day, while I may possess so many skills, we believe in standing shoulder to shoulder. And so I am just a part of this great organization. And I should use my skills not only for my personal benefit, but for the overall advancement of all those involved.
All right. Well, Major, thank you so much for chatting with us this morning. We do wish you the best. We know you're working on being repatriated to Belize, so you'll be home soon. And congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
Thanks.